Alrighty then, we back. Goodfella Sports TV. Y'all guys voted for NBA stream in the community tab, so I deliver. So let's talk some NBA. We'll be talking about should the NBA cancel the season for 2019-2020, and what format style should they go with? If the season does continue this year. Talk a little bit old school, new school, and before we get to the old school, new school debate, we'll talk about if it should be an asterisk for the 2019-2020 champions, and we just go back in history and kind of talk about the lockout year. Then it was a little shortened season with LeBron won to Miami. I do appreciate everybody for checking in. Best way to help the channel, is to share the video, hit the thumbs up button, comment, do something. Appreciate everybody for checking in. So, the season, you don't know what's going on. I heard Virginia was on lockdown to June. So, if you got Virginia on lockdown in June and, this may not clear up until June. So then that's when the finals start. So then you probably be looking to say, the season may start around. It's just I'm probably a promoter of canceling it. I'll be honest, unless this can be resolved by April 30th, because then again it's gonna be, oh, this didn't count, or they didn't deserve this. This wasn't a real season. And then you also got to think about the 2020-21 season, which you will have to push that back till Christmas. So, it's unfortunate that these things happen with the coronavirus. Obviously, leadership of the country ain't do the right thing. Pretty much my kind of hypothesis on it is that, this has been here since around November. They didn't want to mess up the economy. The pagan holiday known as Christmas, and then you got Black Friday, Thanksgiving is a huge, fruitful, time for a lot of businesses. So, what, the leader in the United States chose to do was not talk about it, and not acknowledge it till it was too late. So instead of us coming out the corona, and enjoying the good weather on the East Coast, now, we're not going to be able to enjoy spring. Kids going to be out of school. Kids can be getting ready to go back to school, and they could have made up November, December, January, February, and, probably our April, May, June, and July, and we could have regular lives, and college kids can graduate, and seniors can go to prime, but, that's what you talk about with the government. They made the wrong decision on this one. When this rose, you could have saved a lot of lives, but they chose not to. So it's not, don't let them try to play mind games on you. Say, oh, you're not abiding by the social distance thing. No, they just didn't start preparing for this till it was too late, because they didn't want to mess up Christmas time for the money and for the businesses. So that's what that's about. So now, I think they should just cancel the season. It's unsafe when you got a lot of guys that's at home that may not be training. Everybody ain't self-sufficient. You make Joel Embiid, he probably like 400 pounds right now. So, I don't think it's fair to continue the NBA season. Even if they go into a March Madness style tournament, this, that, and the third, it's too much. It's just slippery slope. So you say you come back in June, right? So no fans gonna come see the ball players play. Like, who want to see some shit like that in an empty arena? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So J-Lab, salute. I would just say cancel it. And just come back in 2020 and 2021. The Toronto Raptors, Kawhi Leonard, Pascal Siakam still be defending champions from 2 years ago. But I just think it's the best case scenario. Other sports like Major League Baseball. They gotta see what's gonna happen. Should they shorten? They can just shorten their season. They shit like 160 something games. The NFL, they probably still gonna be on track too. But for the NBA and for National Hockey League, maybe some people do or some people don't care. So on the NBA, just gotta move on from it. I would cancel the season. If you want to give regular season awards out still, because pretty much they only have around 20 games to play, you give them out. I know. A lot of the guys that signed with LeBron James is Rich Paul, Clutch Sports. They got 90% of their pay already. Everybody else around the league got 50, 60% of their pay. But it just don't make no sense because the league, what is going to be a summer league tournament style? If they do something like that, it still shouldn't go as a championship. If they do an elimination March Madness type tournament, it shouldn't go as a championship. No, just cancel the fucking season. That's what I'm looking at. Excuse me. Does that hurt guys like LeBron? Does that hurt guys that's veteran players like Vince Carter who don't get a chance to actually say farewell? Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. LeBron got next year. He rested. I think it's dangerous. Ain't been training out there, man. They gonna make sure LeBron win. I mean, that's another thing to think about too. They may make sure LeBron James win this thing. Single elimination. How can you sit here and tell me? How can you sit here and tell me that with LeBron? I mean, with the finals, they said we're gonna skip the last 2018, 2015 games. We're going to go into a single elimination tournament, and we're going to say that's a champion. How can you compare that to somebody that wins 7-7-7-7 game series or 5-7-7-7? You can't. That's not that ring. It don't hold weight. So whoever was to win it, it'll be Asterisk. If LeBron win it, his fans gonna say it was fair and square. They was gonna win it anyway because him and Anthony Davis is on fire. If he losing and Kawhi win or Giannis win, or if Lord forbid that's Giannis' first championship. In a single elimination or a diluted season, people gonna be saying, "Oh, Giannis championship don't count." You know what I'm saying? Or if Denver win it, or something of that nature. If LeBron win it, the media gonna spin it. Oh, we should keep this format. Fuck it, man. Just count it as a loss, and you can blame the president. He said, "What up, bro? Should cancel the rest of the season." Yeah, they should just cancel it and move on. And my whole thing about it, pay the fucking players. They talk. The players are paying. Stadium workers' wages. Ricky, you salute. They paying stadium workers' wages, and the owners, they can pay the wages. The owners, this ain't their main source of income. The NBA can pay these players, bro. If they got 50%, if they got Renardo salute, if they got 50% of they pay the other 50%. Mark Cuban, his main source of income in an NBA team. Steve Ballmer, his main source of income in an NBA team. The clown that owned the Knicks, James Dolan, his main source at the NBA team. These are their main source of income. These dudes are tech, oil barons, tech, computer technology, guys and stuff of that nature. Pay these fucking players, man. Being cheap as hell. Got the players paying the concessions wages during this shit, man. Mark Cuban and these white owners, and because they all white other than Michael Jordan, these white owners killed me. You know what I'm saying? And I understand you gotta stay rich, you gotta be frugal, but pay these niggas salaries, bro. A lot of these players only got 10% of their salary left. A lot of these players got 50% of their salary. Pay it. Mark Cuban got it all day. Steve Ballmer got it all day. Got it on the Portland Trailblazers. Got it all day. Piston owner Tom Gores got it all day and twice on Tuesday. Indiana owner got it. Milwaukee owner got it. The league got it. I don't care. I want to hear nothing about that. Oh, we lost so much money to China and stuff of that nature. Y'all got that money, bro. Pay these players, man. Play these rookies. Pay these veterans that's making veteran minimum. Pay the superstars. Pay all these dudes, man. He said, "Oh, you in Vegas? You in Virginia? Yeah, y'all on lockdown till like June. Happy birthday, though." You know what I'm saying? Pay these dudes, man. It don't make no sense for them not to pay the rest of these wages. Cancel this season. Let LeBron, let AD heal up. And I know it's going to be hard for LeBron because he was really pushing for this year. But, hey, you just got to sweep it. You got to just take your L and come back better next year. And let's say that it goes into, June and this tournament goes into, they just do a single elimination. They just go, man, come on, man. You can't call that a championship. You can't say you're a champion. When it's dudes that done went 5 and 7 game series and really fought. Oh, June 16th, I thought it was the 10th. Like y'all, come on, man. NBA, man, they need to cut it out. They need to cut it out. Just cancel the season. NHL cancel the season. Major League Baseball cut that long, pointless season out. Don't nobody watch 160-something games of baseball. No way. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Anything else? College football, start a little bit later. And push the bowl games up. You know what I'm saying? NFL, if you got to start a little bit later, start a little bit later. But the NBA should be canceled. It's a wrap. And a lot of people gonna be mad. Well, LeBron didn't get his championship. LeBron didn't get his championship. I don't give a hell. Try again, motherfucker, next year. It's gonna be an excuse. Well, LeBron is a year older, and so what? If he win, y'all was gonna overglorify the championship. If he lost, y'all was gonna downgrade anybody championship. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. Talking about basketball. He ain't shit. Rodgers ain't top 5. He ain't even top 10. Tell him get another ring and holler at me. So I want the NBA playoffs. You ain't gonna get the NBA playoffs. You gonna get some watered down version of it. It's a wrap. Wait till next year. It's a watered down version. They talking about doing a March Madness tournament, single elimination. If that's the case, they might as well throw how many teams in the NBA? 30-something teams in the NBA? That ain't no championship. That should be called something else. Like an Emerald Championship, or I don't know what to call it, but it shouldn't count as no ring. For sure, it shouldn't count as no ring. It should not count as no damn ring. If they do a March Madness type, like NCAA just said, fuck it, we cancel it. You got all these dudes declaring for the draft already. Move on. I know it's hard. It's hard to soak in, but hey, I really didn't. I mean, I really don't watch the NBA no more like that. Really don't. It's just not played the right way. Every time I turn on, somebody traveling, somebody carrying, somebody palming, somebody flopping, somebody crying to the ref. This a beta male sport now. When I was watching it in the 90s and the early 2000s, it was a man sport. These dudes today, bro, flopping. Like watching James Harden play is the hardest thing I got to do. That's the hardest thing. Watching James Harden take 3 or 4 steps or 3.5 steps and do all this hot dog and he's the greatest shooting guard I ever seen. And every year this pussy get to the playoffs and he don't do nothing. He frees up. One year San Antonio went out there, they set Kawhi Leonard in game 6, I think it was. This nigga still went out there and threw up bricks and went to the titty bar after. Don't bring up James Harden. Motherfucker ain't shit. He ain't top 10 player I've ever seen that shooting guard. He shitty. For real. He's to let everybody in and pay best of 3. Then you playing with a slippery slope too. They trying to do all this in Vegas. Then you talking about no fans being there. You know what I'm saying? You do all these games in Vegas and no fans being there, unless they do an East Coast hub and they do a West Coast hub, or they split the tournament in half and have half the teams in Vegas and maybe the other half in Southern California. But then again, you talking about playing two, a whole league of tournaments with no fans. Come on. A lot of people feed off the fans. The fans are the pressure. Y'all in the empty arena. Man, shit, come on. You can't call it the NBA championship. Only some teams should be disqualified and play, even though they probably are, and the NBA does. Just forget it. Let it go. You're not going to get the right price. It's going to be excuses. Oh, I wasn't in shape. I didn't have enough time to train during the quarantine. Everybody not self-driven. You talking about this thing has been going on for what, 3 weeks now? So you got what? You got another into April. Let's say it ended in April, right? In best case scenario, they clean it up and they won't. The number's supposed to peak in the next 2 weeks. They clean it up in April, right? They give them May to get ready. Everybody, get a couple practices. And then you go to June and they do whatever they going to do. You think people going to be at their best? Absolutely not. Virginia on lockdown till June. It's just. I don't see it working. I just think they need to hang it up, or if they want to do a tournament with the 30-something, 16 best teams, whatever they want to do it, and they mix them up, and they want to call it something else, the NBA Invitational, or whatever they want to call it. If they want to do a one-on-one tournament and put it on TV. If they want to go NBA Jams and do a 2-on-2 and put it on TV. But you can't call yourself an NBA world champion or with this shit going on. I don't care who you is. LeBron, Kawhi, Paul George, Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal. I got Kobe, give me the dog, ball. I slam dunk it. We win the game. You know what I'm saying? Whoever you want to call it. No, it's a wrap. Trying to hear no excuses. Shut this shit down. Let's get ready for the draft. Get ready for the draft. He said Harden the worst player in the league to watch. Worse. Every time he flop and foul. Like, well, Harden is trash, dog. I'm gonna just keep on saying it. Harden is trash. Trash. Matter of fact, they do a tournament. Take the refs out and let the niggas call their own calls. Let the brothers call their own calls then. Real talk. Let the brothers call their own calls. Real talk. No home court advantage takes away from the whole game. Exactly, bro. That's a great point, Benjamin. You know, these dudes, LeBron and Anthony Davis, they fought tooth and nail for home court advantage. They fought tooth and nail to get home court advantage. Now you playing in Vegas. How do they do that? What's the point of playing in Vegas then if the fans can't come? What's the point? You know, but they need to just cut their losses. Just name the winners. Ja Morant, Rookie of the Year. Giannis, MVP. Whatever you want to say. LeBron, Giannis, first team All NBA. Anthony Davis. Whoever else. Get your Defensive Player of the Year. And move on from it. You know, it's sad. But the great thing, it didn't fuck with football season so far yet. But you just gotta cancel it. And you know, for some dudes, it's the best case scenario. Like Kevin Durant, what did he really miss? Nothing. He not tempted to come back and Kevin Durant wanted to play in the Olympics and test his Achilles out. Which is the stupidest stuff I ever heard. But now, they pushed the Olympics back a year. Nah, he technically didn't really miss an NBA season. So, you know, Kevin Durant, best case scenario. You know, worst case scenario is a guy like LeBron who in a rush against time. You know, you didn't make the playoffs last year. Technically this year there was no playoffs. So you just a year older. So if they want to go out there and do a one-on-one tournament or something like that, get the league's 32 best players and they do a one-on-one tournament, I'm for that. Or if they want to go in there and do a March Madness tournament and call it something else, where each team play once, you know, and it's a single elimination, call it the NBA Invitational just to give us something, you know, but it ain't a championship, call it that. But shut it down. No excuse. It's too many excuses for these players. Take the top players from the 16 teams and make them play 21. That'd be crazy. LeBron would be calling foul all the time. My bad. Jeremiah said, how someone like LeBron as a player, he been saved his whole career. Ray Allen saved him in Miami with the clutch shot. Kyrie saved him with the Game 7 shot in Golden State. The ref saved him versus Golden State. But you know, we could talk about. We can go into the old school debate, right? And whoever did win this, it would be an asterisk by it. So we can go into the old school debate, right? It's like these dudes, like these young motherfuckers don't know shit about basketball. That's why I don't really like to debate with them. Talked to somebody earlier, Steph Curry better than Isaiah Thomas. He got 2 MVP. MVPs don't really mean shit to me. Because the year David Robinson got the MVP, Hakeem Olajuwon was better than him. So what did that really mean? MVP, most valuable player. It ain't the best player in the league. If it was the best player in the league, LeBron would have 50 of them motherfuckers. Jordan would have 50 of them. You know, they want to act like the ball players, they want to act like God just started creating athletes in this era. That's not true. Bo Jackson is one of the most athletic athletes of all time in any era. Wilt Chamberlain, check out his vertical. Check out his bench press. Wilt Chamberlain is probably the most athletic athlete in NBA history. But people won't know that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, old Steph Curry, he was getting whooped on this year, bro. Steph Curry, without Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, was getting beat on this year. They wasn't just losing. They was getting stumped out. It looked like when he first got to Golden State and he couldn't beat out Monte Ellis for real. Steph Curry is one of the, man, other than James Harden, I like Steph Curry as a player, but he's one of the most overrated dudes of all time. Had Kyrie and Kevin Love not got injured and Kevin Durant never came to Golden State, that nigga wouldn't even have a ring. No ringtone, no trap going ring. He wouldn't have a ring. Let that sink in for a minute. They struggled to beat LeBron by himself. People talking about how great he is. Greatness is measured mainly on what you do in big moments. And in the finals, where he be at? Where he be at? How you let a nigga like Iguodala? I can see Klay Thompson. I can maybe even see Draymond Green. How do you let Iguodala get the finals MVP? Come on. If Kyrie is putting a beating on Steph Curry like he did in the second time they met Cleveland, dude, these niggas need to go learn. Isaiah Thomas was the truth. Not the truth. He was the truth. Truth. Go look at him. Jordan had a hard time defending him. You put LeBron on Steph Curry, a lot of times he ain't getting the bucket. You gotta miss that. Shooting is only one part of the game. That don't mean just because you're a better shooter. If it mattered, then Reggie Miller would be the damn near the GOAT. Bird would be the GOAT. He a better shooter. What do that mean? You can shoot. That's one aspect of the game. You got defense. You got facilitating. You got finishing at the cup. You got ball handle. His handles weren't fucking with Zeke neither. Steph Curry and all these players today, they carry and palm the ball. Watch the game. They don't stay on top of the ball. Steph Curry wasn't the best player on none of the championship teams he won. None. Y'all about, he was the best player when they beat LeBron. Why Andre Iguodala get the finals MVP then? He never got one. He never got one. He wasn't. You watch them finals, he wasn't the best player on the floor. Even in Game 7, Draymond in the second year that LeBron finally won, Draymond was the best player on the floor when he came back Game 7. Curry is your classic front runner. When everything going good, Curry hot. Motherfuckers don't know shit about basketball, bro. Y'all listen to Scott Van Pelt and Stephen A. Smith. They don't know nothing about basketball. Look who Isaiah Thomas had to go through, bro. I'm going to talk about Bernard King tomorrow, God willing. Bernard King in a 5-game series in 84 versus the Pistons. I bullshit you not. The last 4 games, they won 3-2. 5 games. They used to do 5 games until Mutombo and them beat Gary Payton, them niggas. That 8 beat the 1. I bullshit you not. Bernard King scored at least 40 points in the last 4 games of that series, dog. He is who Carmelo patterned his game after. Do you hear me? It's a 5-game series. He scored at least 40 points the last 4 games. Tell me who doing that shit, bro. Nah. The last 4 games of a 5-game. He basically averaged 40 for a series, bro. 40. 40. Then you look who he beat. They try to make it seem like Michael Jordan beat Bird and Magic. Fuck no. It's like you doing all the hard work. It's like you write for Milli Vanilli behind the scenes and you singing the vocals for Milli Vanilli. You know what I'm saying? And they getting credit. They getting credit for the work. They was lip singing for people who don't know Milli Vanilli. Or I put it in maybe some more people can understand this. It's like Ashanti singing J-Lo vocals and J-Lo she getting credit for it. I'm just talking facts. People say, "Oh, you lying? How did Isaiah have the greatest run?" You look at LeBron. When LeBron won championships, he had another down. He had at least Chris Bosh in the middle. Chris Bosh is an all-star. Then, before that in Cleveland, he had at least Kevin Love. Kevin Love was an all-star. He had Kyrie Irving, right? You look at it's only a few. And I can remember it's only one time in history, or two times in history that a point guard or a smaller guard like Allen Iverson took their team to a championship. People forget when the Pistons won their first title, Magic and them hadn't lost a game. Same thing when Allen Iverson played Shaq and Kobe. They hadn't dropped a game. They swept the whole West. Both of them. What the Pistons do? They swept the Lakers. AI took one game versus the Lakers. You name me somebody else. AI didn't have another dominant player with him. Isaiah Thomas in the league of big men from Ewing, Olajuwon, Kareem, McHale was towards the end of his career. Sampson was still functionable until he got injured. In a big man's league, you had Brad Daughtry. In a big man's league, Isaiah Thomas was the best player on the Pistons. Joe Dumars was good, but he wasn't Isaiah, even though he won the first Finals MVP. He might have won both of them. I can't remember. I know he won the first one. You know what I'm saying? Name me somebody else that was a guard like Isaiah, a point guard, and a smaller guard like Allen Iverson that took their team. You can't name me another one. Not that I can remember. Oscar Robertson had Lowell Cinder. He had Kareem. The Celtics, Dennis Johnson, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish. Magic came into the league with Kareem. Dr. J, I can't remember who was on Dr. J. I think they made it once in the 80s. But they lost. And Dr. J most of his prime was spent in the ABA. And I think maybe the Rockets made it one year as well too. I can't remember. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that's it. Before that, Wilton Jerry. I know Jerry like 1 in 10. Jerry West in like finals 1-11 or some shit. And Bill Russell dominated the finals then. You go into the 90s. Jordan was a bigger guard, but he didn't have another dominant big man though. But he was a bigger guard. They didn't have no dominant big man. Wasn't no Shaq. Wasn't no Hakeem. Wasn't no Ewing. So he went through 6 times. And people say, well, it's a guard league and a big man can't lead a team to a championship. Bullshit. Hakeem Olajuwon, they had a solid team. Mad Max and Otis Thorpe was on that team, I believe. Kenny the Jet Smith, Robert Horry almost got traded. Hakeem Olajuwon was the best player, and he led the Rockets to 2 championships. Duncan and Robinson, they really didn't have a dominant guard in '99. That was the lockout season. Top 10 greatest athletes? No. That's you talking about Gretzky. You talking about Tiger, Federer, Sampras. I mean, that's a broad thing to do because you got a lot of great athletes that's in tennis. You had Gretzky. You had Jordan. They won. They were dominant. You can't even put LeBron James with them. LeBron James never dominated the league. To real. They never dominated. You talking about athletes. Wayne Gretzky, dominant. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was LeBron ain't no top 10 athlete of all time. He didn't never dominate the NBA. He never dominated. Y'all want to talk about statistics and this, that. Come on, the way they play today, it's like just playing, you know, it's like playing on arcade mode or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Djokovic giving a run for his money for most condition. But to keep going on, right? This motherfucker beat Bird, McHale and them. That was seen as impossible. He beat Magic and he broke up that Magic Bird shit. And Jordan just benefited from the groundwork. And they didn't beat the Pistons fair and square. And I'm just speaking facts. I'm not, you know, being biased or nothing like that. I'm speaking facts because they took Rick Mahorn off and gave him to the Timberwolves. That was the expansion team. Then they put Flagrants in. Jordan was I don't even want to go there about Jordan. Jordan was a crybaby ass punk. For real. Crybaby ass punk. You want to know why the NBA soft today? Blame Michael Jordan. No hand check. They came out with flagrants and fines and suspensions and texts. All that because Jordan crying to David Stern. All that. Once you couldn't touch Jordan, wasn't nobody beating them niggas no more. Once you couldn't get physical no more, and they out of all the players, they took Rick Mahorn. You only could protect 10 players off the team. They took Rick Mahorn. That was no longer the bad boys. See, they don't tell you this, and that's why you can't listen to the media. They don't tell you this shit. Wasn't no flagrants before Jordan started crying to David Stern. Wasn't no text. Wasn't no... Y'all listen to all these basketball channels, bro. And who telling y'all this? None of them. Because they don't know shit about basketball. Anybody tell you this the golden age of basketball? If you want to believe that I'm lying, Derek, or J-Lab, or Benjamin, or Rick, look at the fucking ratings. Go look at the ratings and how they declining. Don't nobody watch basketball no more because it's corrupt. It's soft. They don't play the ball. I can call traveling on every play. Flopping. This motherfucker's taking 20 free throws and 20 3-pointers. Jordan averaged almost 40 points a whole season and only made 2 or 3 3-pointers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, listen to just say what efficient basketball is. He played 20 years, right? He led the league and he leads the league all time in points. How many 3-pointers Kareem took? Not that many. How many he made? Probably not that many. If the league was played, if some of them dudes played in the league today, who can check Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Nobody. Could you imagine Golden State throwing out Draymond Green to check Shaquille O'Neal, bro? Any Shaq, the Orlando Shaq, the Fat Shaq in LA, or Prime Shaq in LA? No way. No way. Or how can he guard him and how can he guard them? Like, it ain't hard. Y'all act like they just and they don't have no fundamentals, bro. They travel, they jack up shots, and when it get down to the nitty gritty in the finals, you know what I'm saying? You can't play basketball. They don't run no sets, they don't run no plays, they don't have no system. But for you to really actually understand where I'm coming from, you actually had to watch real basketball. NBA is more worried about pregame outfits and OGs like LeBron Clown leading it. He said, that was Benjamin. J Lab Sports say, I know this ain't the golden age. I watch high school, college, and NBA. None of that is just the same. All the young dudes care about is making highlights. All the fundamentals are gone. Yeah, they are gone. You know what I'm saying? It's no more efficient basketball. They don't even run sets no more. Used to have little Princeton, the Princeton set they ran, and used to have back screen. You don't even see players playing like Reggie Miller or Petrovic or Rip Hamilton no more. You don't even have dudes running off screens and catching and shooting and coming off pin downs and curls, and they don't run action no more. It's either pick and roll, You don't even have high-low action no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have that. You don't even have two big mans on the floor no more. You lucky if you get one. You know what I'm saying? All it is getting up, down the floor. These coaches ain't got to do nothing. But manage and make sure their rotation's tight. Give me 1 minute. And make sure their rotation's tight. Like that's why I fell out of love with basketball. You know, you couldn't tell me no when I was growing up watching basketball. We said the top 10 greatest athletes. MJ, Ali, Brady, Serena, Jackie Robinson, Federer, Tiger. I don't know about Tom Brady. I mean, he ain't no athlete to me, bro. It's like putting a race car driver in there, but I get it. He won, but he ain't no athlete. Motherfucker's just a stale-ass quarterback. Dude's like, man, height shooting threes now and can't get a rebound. Can't block a shot. Karl Anthony Towns and Anthony Davis got all that athleticism and skill and don't dominate. You know what I'm saying? People don't understand what dominate mean. Watch Shaq. That's domination. Watch Hakeem Olajuwon his title runs. That's domination. Watch Tim Duncan at his best. That's domination. Ain't nobody dominating the game like that no more. And people talk about, LeBron is over. Who LeBron meeting at the rim? He ain't even meeting Mutombo at the rim. Who is a good rim defender in the NBA? Who a great big man? Who a great big man? Who? He ain't got Patrick Ewing in the league no more. You got a bunch of Eldon Campbells and Sam Perkins and Vladdy Divac and Rick Smiths and shit. I will give Jordan credit for this. Jordan made the big man. He took away the notion the big man was the way to a championship. You know, Jordan took away the big man. Jordan made it he started to make it a guard league. Iverson helped him out. It was Jordan that started to make it a guards league. Iverson kind of kept it going. You know, Grant would have helped him make it a wing league, but he ended up getting injured. Iverson kept it going, and now you're looking at the league today. Now it's a guards league. But it really started with Jordan. Without Jordan, it may still be a big man league, because look who went before Jordan. Hakeem Olajuwon and Sam Bowie. You know what I'm saying? Jordan made it, you know, he took the big man out of play. You know, nobody knew Jordan was going to be that good. Jordan didn't win the championship with another dominant big guy. It was just Jordan and Pippen, Luke Longley, and at one point Bill Cartwright and Tony Kukoc. I mean, to get personal, to being personal, I really didn't think them Chicago Bulls teams was that good on paper, though. You know what I'm saying? Scottie Pippen wasn't that good to me. I mean, he was a good player, don't get me wrong. But Scottie was a good defender, but Scottie wasn't like having LeBron and Kyrie or what LeBron and D Wade was supposed to be like. Scottie was never a top 5 player. I mean, he may never have been a top 10 player. In my opinion, Grant Hill was by far better than Scottie Pippen. That's just my opinion. But Scottie was the perfect. He matched Michael Jordan fly. He was perfect for Michael, because he didn't need the ball. But if you gave Scottie the ball, he can run. You can run the offense through Scottie. You know, Scottie was athletic. He was strong. He can defend. But Scottie wasn't going out there getting you 25, 30 points a game. He wasn't the greatest shooter. Scottie just knew his role. You know what I'm saying? The Bulls just had a lot of players that fit that Phil Jackson system, because at one point they had another coach, then Doug Collins came in, and then I think Phil Jackson came in. But that team wasn't overly talented to me. But the difference was, you don't have to have talent. You could put KD, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond on the team, and people just look at the name and say, oh, that's the greatest team ever built. But the difference was with LeBron, LeBron and Kyrie and Kevin Love could have beat that team if LeBron just would have defended and shut down Kevin Durant. Kyrie would have locked down on Steph Curry. You know, and Kevin Love, if Kevin Love was more like a Patrick Ewing, they would have won that series where he defended the rim. Defense. That's the difference. Defense. Had Kyrie, LeBron, and Kevin Love locked up defensively, they probably would beat Golden State. This is my opinion. They would have had a better chance. That's what the Bulls was. Defensively, they locked up. Like when Magic was giving Jordan the work. Yeah, you know, they say what they say. You know, they put Pippen on Magic. Pippen shut that shit down. Think about it. You got two top perimeter defenders in Pippen and Jordan. Pippen is the greatest perimeter defender of all time. Jordan won Defensive Player of the Year. Great defender. They could play both ways, you know, for the full duration of the game. It wasn't no, I'm getting tired. Pippen and Jordan, they locking up. You got Dennis Rodman, who was probably the greatest all-around defender in NBA history. He can guard Bird, he can guard Dominique, he can guard Jordan at one point. And also, you could put him on Shaq. He can guard Shaq. Tell me somebody that's more versatile than him. Dennis Rodman, throughout his career can guard 1 through 5. So you're looking at the top 3 players being able to defend. Not just defend the rim or defend. They could defend 90 feet. Then you say Steve Kerr can shoot the rock at one point. And then you had shooters around him. You had Luke Longley, Bill Cartwright that knew his role. They just knew their role. Kukoc, who was a good international player, he knew his role. Ron Harper was one of the... you might have to do a retro Who series on Ron Harper. Ron Harper is one of, you know, probably was going to be one of the great NBA players in history, but he injured his knee. But you know what? Ron Harper knew his role. You know what I'm saying? He knew his role. But one thing the Bulls did, they can defend. Michael could score the ball. Scotty provided enough scoring. And they had enough offense around them. They was a defensive team. They can lock you up. They needed a stop. They get a stop. And people say, well, Jordan had to defend Hornacek and he didn't defend no. LeBron don't defend nobody, bro. But LeBron out there fucking defending Harrison Barnes and pushing J.R. Smith to defend Kevin Durant. People kill me and they say, well, Jordan didn't have to defend. Who the fuck LeBron defending, bro? It's all cross matchups. Steph Curry ain't trying to guard no Kyrie Irving. They putting him on J.R. Smith or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Only person that's really D'ing up over there is Draymond and KD. And KD wanted to guard LeBron James. Well, we don't want Kawhi or we don't want LeBron or Paul George to get in foul trouble. Well, man, Jordan and Pippen weren't worried about that shit. They killed me. Oh, he had to go against this. Nigga, they act like LeBron was guarding and KD and LeBron was guarding each other the whole series. I mean, LeBron be guarding the weakest nigga on the team. Oh, I gotta conserve energy. Like I said, man, just save yourself the energy arguing with these dumb young punks. The NBA is terrible. When I was a kid growing up, and I'm gonna end in about 15 minutes, and I'll get the questions in a second. When I was growing up, bro, when Saturday and Sunday mornings came on, it was lit. Saturday you had Hang Time. And you had a couple basketball shows, Raise on Salute. It was basketball all day. You had Hang Time. It might be another basketball show came on. You had Inside the Stuff with Ramar Rashad. And then you went into doom 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 doom. LeBron ain't fucking with Kobe. Hell no. Especially not Kobe in his prime. Hell no. Care what he say. Nigga 3-6. NBA was lit. It was lit. Saturdays and Sundays, it wasn't no. Look, I'm gonna tell you how garbage the NBA done got, right? Let me tell you how garbage it got. They only got one game for the weekend. One game. And it's way after NFL end. They got one game that come on ABC on Sunday. Nigga, when I was growing up, they had triple headers on regular TV. You didn't have to go from ABC to NBA TV to ESPN. They had 3 games, at least 2 games every Sunday. And they was lit. When Jordan played, bro, every eyeball on the set was watching the NBA. It wasn't like today. You might get one game on Sunday. And now they didn't put the prime time Saturday game in. They been doing that back in the 90s. Yeah, the games was on 12 o'clock, bro. You had the TV show like Hang Time. They had another basketball team. You had Amar Rashad show to come on, and then the games would come on, bro. I'm telling you, NBA in the 90s and the early 2000s was lit. It wasn't nothing like, they didn't give a fuck about no NFL. NFL took a back seat to the NBA. It wasn't no load management. It wasn't no resting. Man, it was the truth. And the gear was sweeter. The jerseys, and I had a reversible Bulls jacket. This shit was cold as hell. Pullover. And the shit was better. The players was better too. The game was better. It was more. And then if you go back, if you don't want to believe me, go back in the 80s. I can speak on the 80s. Go back to the 80s and watch and look at the points per average. Look at the points per average in the. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna get a year. I'm gonna just go say 1987. I'm gonna go 87, right? I'm trying to look it up now. In 87, look, check this out. 87, let me just tell you the difference. The league, 87-88, averaged 108 points a game. Let me just give you these stats, right? In the 80s, they averaged, from 80-81, 108.1 points a game. 81-82, 108.6 points a game. 82-83, 108.5. And 83-84, they averaged 110.1. 84-85, they averaged 110.8. 85-86, they averaged 110.2. They averaged 86-87, 109.9. 87-88, 108.2. 88-89, they averaged 109.2. And all the way to 94-95, they averaged 100, right? Around 95-96, the average dropped under 100 points a game. Not again till 2008, 2009 did the league see triple-digit average again. And they averaged 100.4, 100 on the dot in 08-09. You know, now, and remember, in the 80s, remember, it was a lot of defense being played in the 80s. Now that they done changed the rules from 2013 to 14, now they're averaging more points than ever averaged. 101, 14-15, 100, 115-116, 102.7, 116-117, 105.6, 17-18, 106.3. In the last 2 years, they average over 111 points per game, right? And you could just look at the deep analytics, bro. I want to see how many 3-pointers they took, but I don't think they. All right, here we go. This is gonna be the backbreaker right here. The last 2 years they got over 111. All right, check this out. The last 2 years, and I haven't even looked at these stats. I just knew them from researching. They average 32 3-pointers in 2018 attempts. 32 on the dot, and this year they averaged 33.9, but they didn't finish. Now go to the 80s where we went up, right? We went to the 80s, right? In the 3-point attempts, it's about to blow your mind. And I'm just got to show dudes the proof. I got, what the Future say? I got to show the truth. I'm just being honest. 88, 80, 81. Guess how many 3-pointers the league averaged per game? Give me a number. Anybody. 80, 81. Give me a number. Don't look it up. How many three-point attempts did they average per game? Give me a number, somebody in the chat. 5. 2. 2. They averaged 2 points, 2 3-point attempts per game. And what did they average that year? 108 points per game. 2. 81-82. They averaged 2.3. That year, they averaged 108.6 a game. This per game right now. Look it up. It's on the internet. We can go on to 84, 83, 84. They averaged 2.4. 84, 85. They averaged 3.1. And 84, 85, they averaged 110.8 points a game. Check that out. They only averaged 0.2 points, 0.2 less than what they're averaging now. And they're taking 32 three-pointers a game in the last full NBA season they played. And they are averaging more points, and they're taking less threes. We're not talking about 10 less threes. We're not talking about 20 less threes. We're talking about 31 less three-pointers. Last year, last full season, they averaged 32 three-pointers attempted for the NBA a game. This year, they was almost to 34 at 33.9. They averaging the same amount of points per game, shooting 2 3-pointers a game in the 80s. That just show you how efficient they was, bro. And we can even talk about the free throw attempts. It's about the same, to be honest. It's about the same, the free throw attempts at first glance. They really about the same. It's a little bit higher back in the day. They shot more free throws because they took less threes, but it's around the same for most days. But you go through the 80s, the high in the 80s was 89, 88, 89, 89, 90 when the Pistons won it. Was 6.6 three-pointers respectively both years. That was the highest at attempts. Crazy, bro. It's crazy. And, people clown the old NBA, but they were efficient. They was averaging just as many points per game, without three-pointers. And that just shows you where people are more efficient at. Like I said, Jordan was a scoring champion at 37, 38 points per game. He only attempted or made like three-pointers that year. And it's funny how if the disrespect is for a lot of these older players, man, in the league was tougher. Like, you can fight. I seen Kareem Abdul-Jabbar blow somebody's shit out. I seen Rudy Tomovich, who used to coach the Houston Rockets and the Lakers for a minute till he got sick. I seen the player split his nose open. Rick Mahorn and Larry Bird and Bill Laimbeer got into fist fights. People, and you hear, Gilbert Arenas and Lewis Williams, it was on a podcast a few months ago. They said all they do is used to hack in the NBA. Like, dude, nobody want to watch. Nobody wants to watch NBA players cry and flop and don't get challenged. They played hell of a defense back then, and they was physical, but the difference was Mike had to play through contact. Tiny Archibald had to play through contact. Isaiah had to play through contact. Imagine if they played today. Shit, Jordan would be at the free throw line, worse than Harden. He'd be at the free throw line 50 times a game. But the difference is Jordan was finishing at the rack. He said Jordan made 119 3-pointers his career. Let that sit in. That's crazy. That's hella less. These dudes was more fundamentally sound. Only fundamental thing about basketball now is the pick and roll. That's the only play they run. And now it's ISO. But I know this because I grew up in a household. My grandmother got me into sports. Crazy as it be, our favorite fighter was Sugar Ray Leonard. She loved the Pistons. She loved the Tigers. My grandmother got me into sports. And I used to wake up as a kid, watch the Pistons games. You know, I would sit there with her, watch the boxing fights at her job. My auntie owned a home for disabled people, and I would watch the Mike Tyson fights. She would always order them. I would watch the Mike Tyson fights. So it wasn't a man that got me into sports. It was my own grandmother. When I went to my father's side of the family, if that was the imprint, I probably would have been bigger on tennis and baseball. That was the sport that my grandpa and his kids played. They played baseball. My grandpa got a lot of old bats. When I'm talking about probably bats from like the 70s and the 60s and the 50s, old Louisville Sluggers. That was the choice of sport that they play. And I would go and play tennis. We'd go to the tennis court. So my grandmother got me into basketball, boxing, and football. I just was infatuated with football. I love the University of Michigan. Lions games was always home. My household was Detroit. And even though one side of my family was from the Bronx, it was just all Detroit. So when people talking about loyalty to a sports team and I'm a Seahawk fan one day and then next year the Rams got the high hit. No, I was born into this shit. I had got some Barry Sanders cleats. They weren't cleats, they were turf runners. I had the Barry Sanders shoe when it first came out because my dad fixed a team bus. I had Lions bag and Lion gears because the church that we attended to, they worked the Lions games at the Silverdome. I had Grant Hill Fila shoes. You know what I'm saying? So I was born into this, so I never switched up. Never. When the Pistons played on UPN, niggas remember what UPN was. It's now the CW network. UPN, I watched every Piston. We would have family functions at family houses. I was the only kid, not on the Super Nintendo, not on the Genesis. I was the only kid in the back room watching Grant Hill and the Pistons in the teal and burgundy jerseys. I watched every Grant Hill Piston game that came on before it was time to go to bed, and sometimes I was able to stay up. Every Lions game, from Johnny Morton to Barry Sanders to Herman Moore to Robert Prochet to Luther Ellis, I watched from Sean Rock. I watched every Lion game imaginable, except for the year they went on 16 because I went off to college. We didn't have those channels. I went to Tiger games. I remember they can hit a home run and you could be behind home plate and you can run or you can just casually jog to where you hit the home run with nobody there. You can get the baseball and come back to your seat. I've been to Tiger Stadium. I've been to Comerica Park. I've been a Detroit fan for a long time. I've been a boxing fan for a long time. And that's because my grandmother had me watching those sports. Love boxing. But basketball was my first love. You know, all the kids be playing on the block, I'd be in the house watching Reggie and Michael Jordan battling. I was that type of kid. People disrespect motherfucking Reggie Miller. Reggie Miller used to give motherfucking Mike a run for his money. I watched it as a kid. I watched it. Reggie Miller was giving Mike the business. I watched that as a kid. I remember when Antonio McDyess was one of the best players in the league before he injured his knee. I remember when Spreewell choked PJ Carmissimo. I remember when KG and Sam Cassell and Latrell Sprewell lost to Shaq and Kobe. I cried. I love some KG, bro. I love some. Allen Iverson, I consider he is my GOAT. To me, there'll never be another ball player better than Allen Iverson. Never. And I don't care what you think. That's just my opinion. I never seen a better ball player than Allen Iverson. Had the shoes, had the shirts, had everything. When that wasn't watching Grant, if I could watch, Iverson's the greatest ball player I've ever seen. Bar none. Love Magic. Love Zeke. AI is the GOAT. And people can't understand why. Allen Iverson, he got it all. They weren't trying to help Allen Iverson. His struggle was similar to Zeke. They weren't trying to help AI. If AI didn't take the blunt for wearing cornrows and wearing the tattoos and not wearing the suits and wearing the baggy clothes, Allen Iverson revolutionized the game more than Jordan did. I mean, more than LeBron did. Easily. But people can't understand. People look at him now, oh, Allen Iverson, he didn't win this, Iverson was a baller, bro. 6 foot, 175 pounds. You knew he was getting the ball. You knew he was shooting the ball. You knew he was scoring the ball. They couldn't stop him. Small as hell. Wasn't no load management for Allen Iverson. Wasn't no load management for AI. AI was going out there 80-some games a season, 70-some games a season. And Allen Iverson came to Detroit, he was going to play. Wasn't no LeBron coming. Allen Iverson was the truth. He didn't bitch and cry for help. He didn't say, I'm leaving Cleveland. Or I'm leaving Philly because I couldn't get no help. I'm leaving Philly because they just won't help me. What is this Iguodala? I don't want no Andre Iguodala. Get rid of. No, Iverson was the truth, man. You had to grow up the experience, dog. When he rocked Jordan ass, and people forget he was locked up. They tried to lock him up for some shit he didn't even do. Same thing with Randy Moss. They tried to fuck up Randy Moss' career. I forget what Randy did. All in that same Virginia area. And y'all gotta forget, Iverson's attitude is what got him out the NBA. But they already hated Iverson. Y'all can ask some questions. I'll get to it. Iverson, you crazy as fuck. Iverson was the absolute truth. You look at it as a kid. You was a kid in basketball. You didn't watch it. Like, I can tell you about Nate Tiny Archibald. You couldn't understand it. Earl Monroe, you wouldn't understand it. Clyde Frazier, you wouldn't. When I do the video on Bernard King, I wish I could use the footage. It's just something that, like Cypher's Hill said, it's something that you can't understand. You couldn't understand it. You can never understand the players I'm talking about because you don't know basketball. You just know what this shit is today. This is like 80s Chinese and 90s Chinese food compared to today's Chinese food. There's no comparison. You can never understand it unless you really go back and study it. Like I have Pete Maravich is one of the, I think is one of the greatest ball players to ever play. Because I studied Pete. I watched the film on Pete. Pete was the first and one player. Fuck the Harlem Globetrotters. Pete Maravich was the first. I'm like when you talk about basketball, it's a gap. I know, I can coach basketball. It's no bar none. I can legitimately go out there and coach basketball. It's just no, basketball IQ, that's what I know. Basketball is the number one sport I know. It's not even close. Boxing is not a close second. NFL is not a close second. I know tennis, baseball. I was good at English. I was good at a lot of shit. But, good at fucking, what I'm saying? You feel me? But basketball is by far my number one sport. But I don't talk it as much because it's a disconnect. I can't. When I hear certain basketball channels talk basketball, it's just like I'll turn the channel. You know what I'm saying? I can't listen to it because niggas don't know basketball. Paul Pierce was okay. Paul Pierce had an old man's. I love Paul, but he was okay. But you can never understand until you study it. Don't listen to Stephen A. Smith or Skip Bayless, or you got to go look at this shit for yourself. It's a lot of great ball players. That's better than these dudes today. And I mean, it's a lot of great ball players that they glance over. George Garvin, Detroit's finest. Jimmy Walker, Jalen Rose daddy. People never understand how dominant C. Webb was coming into the league. I mean, it's a lot of great. Terrell Brandon is forgotten. Rest in peace to Malik Sealy. Tom Gugliotta before he got injured. Wally Zerbiak before he got off. It's a lot of great ball players. Tom Chambers, Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson. Deadlift Shrimp. Rick Smith's probably be an all-star today. I mean, when people clown Ilgauskas was dope before he got the foot injuries. Ilgauskas was a nice big man. DeJuan Wagner, if it wasn't for his ailment he was dealing with, I could just keep going on and on. Craig Elo, Mark Price, Brad Daughtry, Larry Nance, Isaiah Ryder. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you talking about my two favorite ball players, it's Allen Iverson and Kevin Garnett, because that's who I grew up watching. I love him. I hate when Anthony Peeler pieced up KG. Niggas kept joking about, I love KG. Mitch Richmond was a good one. He was rookie of the year. The year that Magic and them swept through the finals, they lost to, I forget who Chris Mullins and them lost. I think they lost to Phoenix. They lost to Phoenix. They had swept somebody in the first round. You've seen a lot of sweeps back in the day. It wasn't all about the money. Yeah, Malik Sealy. Another dude, dude from Charlotte passed. Was it? It's either David Wesley or Bobby Phillips. I think it was Bobby Phillips. There was a lot of good ball players, man. There's some guys that I thought was gonna be good coming to the league, man. Like Danny Manning. He didn't really pan out. Jason Williams, he get injured. It's a lot of players that I thought that come out of college that was gonna be good, man. That didn't really pan out. I can't think of them. Maybe that's a different stream. Remember Sean May? That motherfucker just flopped. Hansbrough, he had a short career. Adam Morrison, I was surprised how bad he did. I was surprised how good J.J. Redick ended up doing and sticking into the league. But he was a pretty good college player. Julius Hodges, I thought, was sticking the NBA. I think he was from NC State. He got drafted to Denver. He really didn't stick. So, like I said, man, I watch. I had Gary Payton got my favorite shoe of all time. The glove. That was my favorite hooping shoe of all time. We had those when I was in the 4th or 5th grade. That was our team shoe. I love that gear. The black and white one. He had the white and black ones too. And then Scottie Pippen, like a year or two later, he copied off of that. He copied off of Gary Payton's shoe. His was a little bit different because the shoe zipped up and the laces was inside the you had to see it. The laces was inside the shoe, but the shoe zipped up. That's why he called it the glove. And for people that didn't know, I was telling Tom Business, check out his channel, Sports Entertainment, that the foam posits, that's Penny Hardaway shoe, that was designed to be Scottie Pippen's shoe, but Scottie Pippen turned the foam posits down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullins, and them boys. Allen Houston, he played in Detroit for a minute. He was good. Stevie Franchise, he was good. I met Cuttino Mobley at the Big Three last year. Cuttino Mobley was good. I keep going on. I met Quentin Richardson last year. So, yeah, I met Tyronn Lue years ago when he came back. I think he played for the Wizards, and he signed some autographs for us when I was in middle school. So, I met Tyronn Lue. A lot of different players, man. So, you get a degree or never told. Oh, no, I ain't getting no degree. No, I stopped going. Kevin Martin. I like Kevin Martin. It's funny. Rashard Lewis, he was okay. Remember him and Ray in Seattle. Robinson just, Big Dog Robinson was just soft. Like, he wasn't soft. He was just like, sometimes he'd show up and sometimes he wouldn't show up. Derek Coleman, Linwood's finest, yup. You see Derek Coleman walking through the hood. Derek Coleman, real street nigga. I used to get out of school some days and go on Dexter and Linwood area. You'll see Derek Coleman. He got a strip mall there right off West Grand Boulevard. Yeah, I used to a little stumping ground over. That wasn't even my hood. That was my homie. So we used to hoop, play football against the neighborhood niggas. But a lot of niggas really want on that beef and shit like that back then. But if y'all got some questions, I'll answer them. Do you agree scholarships? Yeah, it's a scam. Shouldn't have to pay to go to college. Luke Rittenhauer will get buckets today. That's crazy. That motherfucker look like Will Ferrell. What's the other one? It was another white boy. Was that him? It was another white boy that played in Cleveland. I'm not thinking about Wally. It was another dude. Oh, remember old boy? He was a white boy too. Oh, man, he didn't stick in the NBA. He came out of Robert Swift. People ain't gonna remember Robert Swift. I think he was a white boy that came out of high school, bro, and he didn't stick in the NBA. I wonder what Robert Smith doing. Yeah, I remember him coming out, bro. The other dude that came out of was it Xavier? What's my man's name? Eddie Griffin. What's his name? Eddie Griff. What's his name? Like, man, he probably would have balled today, or at least had a career. Yeah, Mark Price coming off the pick and roll. You talking about Bobby Sura? He played for the Pistons for a minute. Rex Chapman. I see him on Twitter the other day. He played in Phoenix. He probably fit in today's game, man, shooting a whole bunch of threes. Rex Chapman can shoot. Yeah, you talking about Bobby Sura. Yeah, Mark Price, you know, they was expected to beat Jordan that year. That Jordan just went crazy. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, was he the one that died? No, what's the one that died down there in Memphis? Yeah, Mark Price coming off the pick and roll. They had a squad at Cleveland, man. They had a squad. Jordan was just tough, bro. Jordan was tough before the rule change. Jordan was tough. The shit Jordan used to do, but when you actually go back and watch Jordan from when he came, Lorenzo White, that's what it was. They finally nailed it. Mikey Moore played for the Pistons. But yeah, Michael Jordan was tough. I hated Mike with a passion. Mike was dominant. That nigga used to do some crazy shit, bro. Like, was it versus Portland? That motherfucker, was it versus Portland? He switched hands in mid-air. One time he played the Pistons and they fouled him. He did a 180 and he just threw the... Man, Jordan was tough. I'm going to tell you one reason why Jordan was way better than LeBron. Which Kareem and Jordan are the GOATs. I mean, I slightly give Jordan a head. Because I seen it with my own 2 hours. Like, I seen Kareem play. Kareem was great. I'm going to tell you how great Jordan was, all right? I'm going to tell you 2 things about Jordan. When I was growing up as a kid, I think it was NBA. It was the NBA Live or not, but this particular live, it was like Live 01 or 2. I was getting out of school on Friday, and I couldn't wait to play this game. And all the kids in my what you call that shit, latchkey. When we stayed after school, all the kids in my latchkey class, or all the boys, we was trying to unlock Jordan, right? And what do I mean? I think it was like Live 2000, 2001 or 2. You had Jordan for many of the basketball games, shootouts, and Live. Jordan was he was player 00 or it was player 99, right? Jordan wasn't in the game. That's how dominant Jordan was. Jordan was player 99. He was dominant. You couldn't get Jordan, right? You knew it was Jordan, but it was like playing like a college game where they had to, they was player 1 and 99. Jordan was 99. In this particular year, right? That's one of the things I'm talking about how dominant he was. Nigga was player 99, right? This particular year, you got a chance to actually pad Jordan in the game. But you had to beat Jordan one-on-one. It wasn't Hall of Fame. They called it something else on Live. You had to beat Jordan one-on-one. And when I tell you, bro, it was damn near impossible, bro, to beat him on. He was unstoppable, bro. I ended up beating him with Kevin Garnett. Yeah, it was the one with Tim Duncan on the cover. I think that's the one. I think like 2000, 2001. Because I had shootout. I played 989 Sports and EA Sports. Shit, I played quarterback club before I played Madden. That's how bad EA Sports was. That was crazy. And man, we finally beat Jordan. It was like man, getting your first sticking your dick in some pussy for the first time beating Jordan on that game, bro. He was damn near impossible. And I got Jordan, man. I got Jordan. I got it on my PlayStation memory card. I beat Jordan on hard, nigga. You lying, nigga. You lying, nigga. Oh, you can tell your mom, let me come. Oh, this nigga beat Jordan. I beat him on my memory card, too. We had memory cards, bro. No, that was before online game. You had to take your controller around the corner. We was playing Knockout Kings and Shootout and Live. Man. You got your memory card, cuz? Yeah, I got my memory card, nigga. Man. All his shit was 99. That's what a nigga was player 99. That, man, beating him, I felt like I graduated, bro. I felt like the man. I feel like the man when I want to. Like, shit, I was celebrating around the crib and shit. I had the hockey games, all that shit. And I'm telling you, man, that's how you know he was the truth. All his shit was on 99. You play him on the black tops, man. And the one thing about the old video games, they had better ideas. It was more creative too. He said Kobe had Jordan's game, but not the physicals of Jordan. Had huge hands and would pound the ball in the air and change. Yeah, you ain't crazy. You ain't lying. EA Sports, man, that was, man. I remember Tim Hardaway was on one of the covers. But I played 989 Sports. That didn't stay out long. They had a good basketball game, though. Hakeem was on one of the covers, and yeah, I love 989 Sports. We had choices. Now it's just 2K. You ain't lying. Now it's just Madden because you had game day. I had game day. And then they also had a hockey game on 989 Sports. I had game day, quarterback club. I rarely played Madden until Madden became like really the only choice. Because they stopped making quarterback club. Me and my uncle would play quarterback club. They stopped making it. We had hella games on PlayStation, bro. In PlayStation 2, Twisted Metal Black, State of the Emergency. Like, man, our video games is way better. They got better graphics, but they just need to start remaking video games again. We had NBA Shootout, NBA Jams. Oh, we had NBA Showtime, In the Zone. We had all that shit. Showtime, Jams. I remember on Sega we had was it Magic vs. Bird or Jordan vs. Magic or whatever the fuck it was. Hell yeah. We had Banjo Kazooie, Spyro. It was another dude. I had this downstairs in my PS4 Pro before I sold it. I had the trilogy, all of the Crash Bandicoots too. I had all of them, man, all of them. And one I bought it at GameStop. NBA Streets. We had all Blitz. We played Blitz to SmackDown. When SmackDown first came, we had Attitude, SmackDown. My brother had the 64 with NWO versus WCW, whatever the fuck it was. Man, we had the games, man. I'm trying to tell you, dog. My favorite Madden was like, what, 05? With Ray Lewis on the cover. I think that's when they unveiled the hit stick. And my favorite live was the one with Jason Kidd on the cover. And then I think the following year they introduced the next couple years they introduced the NBA Dunk Contest All-Star Weekend. I got out of school early and got that shit. Man, that shit, those was the two best ones. The NBA one with Jason Kidd, like 03, whatever that was, they had a dope soundtrack on there. They had Chingy. They had Philadelphia Freeway on one of them. They had Fabulous on the soundtrack. Man, whew. He said NBA bought all the NFL. Yeah, after that NBA 2K5 shit. They seen NBA 2K5. That was one of the greatest football games. And one thing I remember about that game, my boy took that shit to church. They had like a summer camp at church, and his mom invited me to come. Somebody stole his PlayStation out the church. I said, I knew church ain't shit. We used to steal the PlayStation demos out the PlayStation magazine at the store. I remember them. You had the AOL demos too. That shit was crazy. That's why no one else. Yeah, 2K got the license for non-sim now, so they can make a Blitz or NFL Street game. But yeah, NFL EA bought, and it's terrible because the competition make them step it up. In 2K, since they don't have no more competition, they suck. Even though they don't own the rights, Live just suck. I don't know what Live is thinking. But Live used to be dominant at one point. You had 2K players, you had Live players. Allen Iverson was on the first few covers of Live. I mean, on 2K. And I ain't believe niggas that had a dream. Like, oh, 2K way better, man. We playing Live. Eventually, it came out. Yeah, the one with T.O. on the cover. After that one came out, Madden was like, oh, we got to get the rights. We can't fuck with 2K. That was one of the greatest football games of all time. My personal favorite Madden was like 05 and 09. After 09, it went downhill, honestly. And the next best one after 09 was the one with AP on the cover on PS when PS4 came out. But the one with Brett Favre and the one before that, I think it was 08, 09, that was cool. We was playing them in college. Those was dope. Yeah, Live trash as hell now. See, you can play a lot of those games on. Oh, you talking about what emulators? Yeah, that's 2K5. Madden, Mike Vick, and Ray Lewis. Yeah, Ray Lewis was the 05. I used to shut down Mike Vick ass. I mean, we was playing that in the auditorium. And I stopped playing football. So at this point, I had transferred to school, so I stopped playing football. Because my grades were so good, so I didn't need football to get in school and shit. And plus, I got tired of catching the bus and going back to school. So, niggas didn't think I knew football. So, me and this nigga, they set it up in the auditorium. It was like a free day or whatever. It was almost, everybody had, some people had graduated already. And I had one more year to go. So, we sat in the auditorium playing. So, my teacher pulled out the mat and he was like, hey, Corey, this dude good. He was like, man, ain't shit. So, we hopped on. Corey hopped on. We hopped on. He picked Vic. I don't know why I picked the Bengals on his ass. I shut that Vic. Man, he couldn't do shit with Vic. I kept Vic in the pocket. Man, come on. NCAA football is my shit. I just love it. I never really played online, but I love that shit. But yeah, let me get out here. I gotta take the kid to the grocery store. Make sure I hit that subscribe button. Share this video. I'll be back with some more live tomorrow. Probably boxing, so pay attention.